Hi, this is Kai from Kikai Craft, and after Monteverde, I wanted to start exploring Ferris Wheel Press. So I bought, I'm not sure, I think I bought these first. Ferris Wheel Press is a little bit expensive. So I thought I'd just get their ink charger sets, which are basically a fancy way to say that these are sample sets. I got one that I think this is called, okay, let me just double check to make sure I have the correct information. So I got one called Finer Things. This is the one with Finer Things. It will come with steeped umber, Oyster Hour, and Spruce County Post. Okay, and I also got one called the Candy Store. Okay, and it will come with buttered popcorn, candy masala, and peppermint drop, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and I got both of these, including this too, from the same store in the Philippines. It's called Pen Graphic. And they have quite a selection of inks. So if you're in the Philippines and you're looking for a reliable, trustworthy source for your inks and your pens, especially Ferris Wheel Press, but they also have a lot of other brands that they carry, then I do recommend Pen Graphic. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look. I will not be swatching this because I didn't get that until a bit after. I will be swatching with the Finer Things ink charger and the Candy Set ink charger set. So again, if you're kind of new to my channel, this is Kai, and I've just recently gotten myself into this rabbit hole called fountain pens, and I have just been exploring a lot of inks. I have about 15 fountain pens in my collection, and I want to know which ones to use with which and when I would like to use them. Okay, so let's start with this. So if you get the ink charger set, sometimes they come in a box like this. This is a very nice box. I love this box. It has a very strong magnetic closure. See? And it comes looking like this. It's very nice. I like it a lot. But they also have ink charger sets that come in boxes that look like this. Okay, and when you open them up, okay, they come in some sort of like a display box that you have to sort of pull out. Okay, I don't know a more graceful way of doing this, but yeah, they come looking like this inside. And I love this little slogan, I suppose, that they have. Every great idea begins with a spark of imagination. And their packaging is really fancy, and I love how it sort of like encourages imagination. They come with stars, and they come with very whimsical illustrations in their packaging. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with this. Again, there are 3 colors here, and what you'll see here is that they have, okay, they have sort of like labels at the bottom of each of their vials and their ink charger sets that sort of tells you what those inks names are and what color they have. So this one is Steeped Umber, this one is Oyster Hour, this one is Spruce County Post. Okay, let's put this aside. Oof. All right, so let's start with this. Just to share with you, the reason why I got these sets was because I wanted to find a nice ink for my Kasama Una fountain pen. And I thought these were very, it's like an interesting match, because Kasama Una feels very organic, feels very earthy, while these feel very fancy, but I think they will sort of like match. I got these on the 19th of December. So one of the things I do with my swatch book. I treat it like some sort of a journal to show my journey through the ink world. And so I write the dates when I purchase them. So it sort of also gives me an idea of how I have progressed and how my journey looks like. So I'm just going to focus it just a bit more. So, all right, so you can see the swatching better. Let's start with, I don't know, might be good to start with Steeped Umber. So the reason why I bought the Finer Things ink charger was really because of Steeped Umber. I was looking for a bottle, and I think that he didn't have any more of these big bottles. And I'm glad he didn't, because one of the things I have learned as I go through this journey of mine is that I shouldn't really purchase bottles until at least I've tried a sample of it, because I do have some bottles that I'm not really sure if I want them as bigger bottles. So if you're just starting on your fountain pen journey, I suggest that you also just look into getting samples rather than full bottles. They are less expensive, so obviously that's a plus, and it also sort of gives you an idea. I just have to like coax it in as to whether or not you would like the ink. The hole is a bit small, I have to say. All right, so let's start with this. It is that lovely brown. Okay, and Ferris Wheel Press Steeped Umber. It is Steeped Umber. I just want to make sure I have it correct. Yes. Okay. Steeped Umber. And this I got on the 19th of December 2022. Okay, let's make sure that I kept this. I don't want to spill anything. Make sure that's nice and tight. And just so I see the color, I got these labels. Okay, I'm not sure if it'll fit over it. I hope it does. Let me just let that dry. Okay. So my swatch book isn't exactly pretty. It's not super clean. I have a lot of like little splatters everywhere, but I do embrace that as part of my journey. So I don't have any like specific doodle that I do. I just use the color to sort of give me an idea of how the shading works and how it looks when it's dry as well. Okay, so this is like a good color. I think it'll match my Kasama Una pen. Should I go for like a more earthy color for it? Okay, this is me just rinsing my brass nib. Right, I think that has given me enough time to sort of dry this a little bit. I want to compare this. Okay, so in the sample at the bottom, it looks a little bit more red, but in real life, it's a bit more brown. Okay. All right, so I hope that like gives me an idea later of how the colors look like. Okay, now we're gonna go and look at Spruce County Post. Okay, let's just tumble that a bit. Let's move this aside and open it up. I love that this comes with, I don't know, is this wax or rubber? Because that makes sure that the ink is sealed in. Again, let's dip it in. I think this is going to be some sort of a green. Yep. It's like a dark green. Okay, Ferris Wheel Press. Spruce County Post. Again, 19th of December 2022. Let's cap this. You want to cap your ink because you don't want it spilling and you don't want to waste your money because of clumsiness. Okay, it hasn't happened and I don't want it to happen. All right, let's see how it looks. Okay, it's dark enough to be clearly seen when you write. It's very pretty. If you want to write in dark green, this seems to be like a good choice. Okay, let's clean that nib again. It's very important to clean your nib in between dips so that your colors don't mix. And the good thing about this brass nib is that even if it does hold a lot of ink, yep, in those grooves, it's also quite easy to clean it off. Just after a few rinses, it's already clean. So that's good. All right, let's take this out. Again, let's compare it to what's in the bottom. So this is how it looks. It seems to be a bit darker. So underneath it looks a bit more chocolatey, more brown, but actually it's more green than that. It's like an olive green, a nice dark olive green. Okay. I do have a Kaveco that I think will match that. Okay, let's move forward to Oyster Hour. Okay. Let's move that up. Okay. Oof, look at that. I really love this seal. Not sure if the other one has it. I hope it does. I've had a look at the other one actually. I don't remember this seal on it. So this is me hoping it has it too. Ah, this is a nice light brown. Okay. That's still visible even with even when you write with a fine, I think this is more like a medium or a medium fine. Oyster Hour. Okay, again, 19 December. So it sort of becomes lighter as it dries. It is a nice brown though. Not sure where I'll use it. Okay, but it's, I like exploring inks. I like exploring these things. It gives me an idea of which brand also I think I would prefer. You know what? This would be nice with a little bit of gold shimmer, I would think. Okay. Although it feels very light, it's still quite clear when you use it to write. And what happened there? It got entangled. Yeah, I think this would look nice with some gold shimmer. All right, so let's compare this again. Oh no, what's happening here? My stickers are falling off. All right. Okay, so this is how Oyster Hour looks. It's quite similar to what I see here. Okay, so here it looks a bit orangey, but it's actually more brown than that. Okay. So if you're getting Oyster Hour, this is how it looks. It's more of a brown than an orange, actually. Ooh, let's try that again. Okay, now I didn't do that so well. Let's see if I can make another one. I'm a little bit, I don't like it when it doesn't work well. Okay, so apparently I left quite a bit of residue in this. Okay, let's see if I can sort of wipe it off. Okay. All right, let's try that again. Okay. Yeah. What's happening to my light? Okay, my light is shifting, if you've noticed. Okay. So this is the Finer Things ink charger set colors. Very nice. Okay, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna see what else I can do with the light. Okay, hold up. Okay, no, I don't think I'm gonna pause. I think this is fine. And it dries fairly quickly too. Okay, on with the next one, but just in case, let's put a bit of blotter paper in between. Wow, I'm already in the middle. I'm already in the middle because I did remove a few pages because I didn't really like how they looked. Okay, let's put this away. This is really not wide enough. Okay, so now we are going to go for the Candy Shop ink charger. Okay, I'm really gonna pause now because I think we can do better with light. Okay, so I hope this light I've added will help. Okay, so this is the Candy Shop. Again, really nice box, really nice packaging. Oof, okay, everything falling. Okay, so this is the Candy Shop and it will come with Candy Masala, which looks like a bit of a red. Peppermint Drop, another green, and buttered popcorn, like a yellow color. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, let's just make sure I rinsed my pen properly. This Kakimori nib, brass nib that I am currently using, came from the same shop, Pen Graphic. I was introduced to the shop via the Facebook group called Fountain Pen Palenque. Okay, let's start with Candy Masala. Okay, it does come with a little bit of a rubber, but it doesn't come off like it did with the Finer Things set. Let's dip it a bit. Okay. All right, let's bring you guys in just a bit closer. All right. All right, so Candy Masala is a red. Okay, Ferris Wheel Press, Candy Masala. Again, got it the same day, December 19, 2022. What I do like about this one is that as it dries, it becomes a bit of like a brighter red. So that is good. Let's just dip it a little bit more so I can create this label for it. Okay. All right, let's compare it with what's at the bottom. Okay, so it's not that far, but the one on paper looks a tad more brown than the label underneath. Okay, let's put that on. Okay, all right, that'll work for now. Okay, then let's go for the next one. Okay, I got this actually for the Peppermint Drop. I was looking for an ink for my Cross Classic Solo, which my father gifted me with. So this is it, the Peppermint Drop. And that was in some forest green color. So I was looking for an ink that would go with that. And again, I'm glad that, okay, I think I spilled a little bit there. Okay, this is quite a dark green with like some blue undertone to it. Peppermint Drop. Oops. Okay. Okay, let's see how it looks. It's a very wet ink. Okay, it's nice and lovely and dark. Okay, let me just wipe this off. Yep, I did spill a little on the side. So again, when you use your dip pen, be more careful. Oh, that's a lot of lovely ink spilled. Okay, I do want to close that because I don't want to make any more mistakes with it. Okay, and let's swab that in. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. That's such a strong color. I put it in my water and it's just like filled it. Okay, I wonder how that looks dry. Candy Masala is a nice color when it's dry. I mean, it was also nice earlier. It's just a little bit nicer now. Okay, and then let's go for buttered popcorn. Oops. Okay, let's put this back. All right. Let's be just a little bit more careful. Looks quite yellow. It is quite a bright yellow. Okay, I want you to. Ooh. All right, there we go. Almost mustardy. Let's dip that just a little bit more. Okay, that's a nice bright yellow. Oh, this kind of looks like not a candy shop, but like a traffic light. Ferris Wheel Press. Buttered popcorn. Okay, it could be butter popcorn or buttered popcorn. But let me just write it in as buttered popcorn because I think that makes more sense. All right. It's a light color, but it feels like it gets a bit darker as it dries. Let's put it in. Okay, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm preparing the label for the top. All right, let's clean my brass nib again. I have to say this brass nib is such a game changer. I used to use a cotton swab and a glass nib pen, but this I don't need to use too many cotton swabs, and this just really good with conserving resources. Okay, let's make sure that's sealed and let's compare. So if you look here, it feels like, okay, let's zoom you out just a little bit. Feels a little bit lighter. This feels just a tiny bit darker. But you know, of course, right? You can't find the exact shade when you go through digital colors. Okay, and this, okay, is Peppermint Drop. It seems a bit more brighter in the label and a bit darker here. Okay, let's put that on top. Okay, so 6 inks from Ferris Wheel Press. I actually have more, as you will see in my next videos, but just going for these charger sets. Let's move this aside. All right, help you focus a bit. Okay, so the Finer Things, I have to say, has a bit of a like a more conservative, more posh, should I say. Color palette, the Umber is nice. Spruce Candy Post is also nice, and Oyster Hour. Makes me think of like libraries actually. And you have this, the Candy Shop colors. Okay, you have Candy Masala, Peppermint Drop, and Buttered Popcorn. A bit more vibrant than the first set. Alright, so I will be swatching more Ferris Wheel Press inks. I always felt that watching people swatch colors gave me a better idea of which inks I'd like for my collection and which inks I'd like to try. And so I hope that this has helped someone who has been looking into getting Ferris Wheel Press inks. And if it has, please do leave me a comment at the bottom just letting me know that this has helped you. And do subscribe if you would like to see more explorations with inks and with pens and with nibs, because I do plan to do a bit more of that. Okay, so this is Kai from Kikai Craft. I'm glad that you spent a bit of time watching me explore these colors, and I hope to be helpful with this channel and try to help people as they go through their fountain pen journey. All right, see you guys. Bye.